More head coaches are hired, and we are running into the AFC NFC championship predictions. Let's get it. Welcome, everybody, to Top Dog Coverage. It is your boy Dirty with your boy C-Dub, and we are heading into a very, very important part of the season where we run into only 4 teams left. That is the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship, and it has been a doozy so far. We've had injuries on major teams. We've had coach hirings that we've never thought would happen before. Whirlwind of stuff, C-Dub. What's going on over on your side?
Yeah, just getting ready for the championship weekend. There's a lot going on in the NFL, and there's a lot of all-star games going on at the same time too, starting next week. So a lot happening.
There certainly is. There's more news of other people getting hired, people getting fired, and offensive, defensive coordinators. And usually this happens on the back end of stuff, but I mean, this is a very, very important part where everybody is kind of just honing into this and then looking at the game, and then honing into this and then looking at the game, because these are very good prospects that can go on each or any team right now. Nobody expect these coaches to be available all at the same time. So, but what we can do, we can give you some of that news. So what do you say we jump into some news action, sir?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. It's time for the news. All right. Why don't you start us off there, C-Dub?
Yeah. So let's go with the next head coach domino to fall off the board. The Titans are expected to hire Robert Saleh as head coach. So Robert Saleh was expected to be choosy with his second head coaching opportunity, but the 49ers defensive coordinator has made a decision to dive back in after one season. The Titans are hiring Saleh as their next head coach, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Saleh, 46, impressed the team's decision makers during his interview Monday in Tennessee. He was originally scheduled to speak with the team virtually on Sunday, but the two sides pivoted to an in-person meeting that could not take place until the following day due to league hiring rules. The race appeared to be down to Saleh and Chiefs offensive coordinator Matt Nagy, who was set for his own in-person interview with the Titans on Tuesday. Nagy was the rumored frontrunner as of Monday afternoon, though Saleh was on the radar as a finalist over the weekend. Saleh won over owner Amy Adams Strunk and general manager Mike Borgonzi become a head coach for the second time in his career. Saleh had an in-person interview with the Cardinals on Tuesday, but the Titans have convinced him to pass on that meeting.
What is your take on this? Because Saleh, obviously, he has a really good defense and such, and I understand that. Do you think he could work with another rookie quarterback here? Or I don't say rookie, but going into a sophomore year, do you think he has what it takes to get a quarterback to where he needs to be in the NFL?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think he can build the proper offensive staff around him. I think his time in New York, he was kind of, forced to set up to prepare for Aaron Rodgers and whatnot. So, as much of Rodgers brings over his own guy. So I think with this Titans spot, he'll have his own actual voice and be able to actually truly lead the team as a head coach and make those offensive decisions on who's going to bring in as OC and whatnot. So I do think he can help build an environment where Cam Ward can succeed and continue to grow and develop.
And there's also rumors that Brian Daboll is actually very attracted to that Titans offensive coordinator spot that is open. So that might be something to keep an eye on. But I will move on. Oh, sorry.
There's actually one last piece. So I don't know if you remember earlier in the season when the Jaguars beat the Niners or whatever. I think it was early week 2, week 3.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you remember, there was beef between Saleh and Liam Cohen.
Oh yeah, there was.
So they get to meet twice a year now. So get your popcorn ready. We have Saleh and Cohen beef. in 2026.
I like this. I like this. We're already spicing it up a little bit before everything
It's
happens.
facts.
I'm going to take us over to a hot place going over to a still warmer place with Mike McDaniel. The Chargers are expected to hire Mike McDaniel as offensive coordinator. So the Chargers are close to naming Mike McDaniel their offensive coordinator, according to Adam Schefter. And he's having dinner with the brass on Tuesday, which is, well, yesterday. So he expected to take the job. So McDaniel dropped out of the running from the Browns head coach meeting that he had on Wednesday. He remains a candidate for the opening in Las Vegas and Baltimore, according to Tom Pelisseri. But if he doesn't land with the Raiders or the Ravens, McDaniel is primed to sign a deal with Jim Harbaugh, and the staff is ecstatic to have him in Los Angeles. The Chargers have informed other candidates they're planning to hire McDaniel, according to Rossini of The Athletic. So after Daniel's 4-year run as the Dolphins head coach, and it ended on January 8th, the Lions, Eagles, Buccaneers joined the Chargers in showing interest in him for their offensive coordinator position. So big move for him. Just trying to get some stuff done. He's got a great run game, and we've seen it. He's gone to the playoffs with it, and now he could just focus on one thing, you know?
Yeah, I think he canceled his Cleveland head coach interview as well.
He did.
Right? Did you mention that?
Yeah, it was supposed to be today. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, what's your take on him taking over that offense and pairing with Jim Harbaugh? Excuse me.
Look, I think Jim is a great offensive mind, defensive mind. He's a great head coach. I would say that he's a great head coach, but obviously something was not running well with that run game. Something was happening. Greg Roman is out, but they also had a lot of injuries. But you add a young, fresh kid coming in that has a lot of different schemes. He knows how to maneuver the old school with the new school type of run game. And I think this is exactly what they need, a revamped running game, not just a revamped offense, just a revamped running game that can turn into play action, that can work a lot of different angles, and it can really confuse a lot of defenses.
Yeah, I think it'll work because they're both like football junkies and both kind of weird. So I think it matches well. Just in terms of personality types. But let's go to another coordinator type potential head coach role. So the Vikings have extended defensive coordinator Brian Flores, while Flores is still a head coach candidate. So while Flores is currently pursuing a higher position elsewhere, the Vikings have signed him to an extension. According to Tom Pelissero of NFL Network, Flores is still considered a candidate for the open head coaching jobs in Pittsburgh and Baltimore, but he'll now have his job as defensive coordinator in Minnesota if those teams end up hiring other candidates. Similar to another coach on the opposite side that we just discussed, Mike McDaniel, Flores was getting interest around the league lately for his potential to become both a team's new head coach or a team's new defensive coordinator. The former Dolphins head coach were both looking to return to another leading role, and Flores has interviewed with the Ravens and Steelers while also being mentioned as a candidate for the job in Las Vegas. With his current contract as defense coordinator in Minnesota coming to an end, though, other teams around the league were showing signs of interest in Flores continuing in his role as a defensive play caller. A week ago, he interviewed for the job in Washington, so the speculation was already up in the air on whether Flores would end up being a head coach or a coordinator with a new team. So with this extension in place, though, Flores' two options are to land a head coaching job in this cycle or return to the Vikings to remain as defensive coordinator. Head coach Kevin O'Connell actually recently expressed doubt that Flores would leave for the same job with another team. In reaction to the news of Flores' extension, per ESPN's Kevin Cipher, O'Connell told the media, "The identity of our defense is a reflection of his leadership and preparation. On a personal level, I've really valued the relationship we've built over the last 3 years, and that shared trust, alignment, and high standard will continue to be critical to our success."
Yeah, I think leaving that window open kind of shows a little bit of trust between just the organization and him, to where you can tell that they really they do love him as a coach, but they also want to see him succeed. And I think that's going to help Flores give the best that he can. You know what I mean? Not that he wouldn't, but I think that's just a really solid, good, healthy relationship between an organization and a coach.
Yeah, and the Vikings had some great defensive performances this season, so I think he's extremely valuable to that system and the continuity with, making sure that you've taken the JJ McCarthy lumps, and we'll see what he can be in this next season. But that defense has always been kind of the backbone for them, and so it's good to keep him there in house if he doesn't get a head coach job.
Absolutely. Let's go over to the Dirty Birds, where the Falcons expected to hire Tommy Rees as the offensive coordinator. So Tommy Rees is set to follow Kevin Stefanski from Cleveland to Atlanta. The Falcons are expected to hire Rees as their offensive coordinator, according to Ian Rappaport of NFL Network. The deal isn't official, but Rees has accepted the job. This was the likely outcome when the Falcons hired Stefanski, previously the Browns head coach, on Saturday. The 33-year-old Rees was a candidate to rejoin Stefanski in Atlanta. The pair developed a strong working relationship in their 2 years together in Cleveland. Rees interviewed to take over for Stefanski, but this move slams the door on that possibility at all. So it's obvious Cleveland will select a different head coaching candidate instead. Formerly the Notre Dame quarterback, Rees got his start as a head coach, as a coach, as a graduate assistant with Northwestern in 2015. He later returned to his alma mater to serve as Notre Dame's offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach from 2020 to 2022. So he is ready to rock and roll. They got their guy that they want down there. They're ship-shaping what they seem to want to happen. So, and that is pretty much it for the news. Not too much going on around the league at the moment, but there's always a little something trickling down. The news was brought to you by Norse-Hall.com. If you guys have not yet, go get your hot sauce at Norse-Hall.com on a ticker down below. They are a proud sponsor, and they also sell a mead, capital MEAD, which is a honey wine that used to be drank back in the day. So go get your mead and your honey wine, based in West Virginia, and go have a grand good time. So if you have not yet, though, please follow us at Top Dog Coverage. Before we get into things here, at Top Dog Coverage at YouTube, X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Stay connected. Swipe up on Spotify. And please do not hesitate to show your love on Apple as well. Hit the 5 stars. Leave a comment. Put us in the algorithm. C-Dub, we have 2 big games coming up here. We have 2 big games coming up here, man.
Are they big games?
They are big games. It takes you to the big show.
So. Yeah.
It takes you to the big show, man.
I guess they're championship level games, huh?
I guess. Yeah.
That's fair.
So let's get into it real quick. We have 2 games that are, extremely important. And 1 or 2, I should say. I should say 2, but is difficult to look at because there's a huge injury on one end, and you don't really know how to take that, because there's rumors flying around now that one team has always gotten beat by a secondary quarterback, or like how do you deal with some stuff like that? What would C-Dub say on this?
Well, I don't think it's about one person. If that was what football was, then obviously the most talented quarterback would win every single year, but that's not always the case.
This is
right.
True.
It's more about the team around that individual. So it's the most complete team sport out there, right? Mm-hmm. Though if you don't have a quarterback, you're in trouble. But I think with the Broncos, you have somebody that's been in Sean Payton's system for at least a couple seasons now, one that knows to get the ball quickly. He hasn't fared well in majority of his starts, but he is, I believe, 1-3 in his 4 starts. But at the end of the day, Sean Payton's been here before. This is his fourth championship game. I think 4th championship game. So this is the stage not going to be too big, and Payton's going to come up with a game plan that he's going to feel comfortable. Stidham's going to feel comfortable with, and that Payton's going to feel comfortable with, of taking advantage of this Patriots defense. Now, was the Broncos defense going to be able to withstand Drake May and how great he's played this year? That's another question. So, but I think Stidham, at least get him in a rhythm early, lean on the run game. They didn't really run the ball very well at all last week. So I think if they can, establish that run game early, have some easy screens, some dump offs, sit them in a rhythm, get them going early, I think you have a shot.
Okay.
So,
I was gonna say if we can do this a little bit differently, since we're down to 2. Okay, I'm gonna share this with everybody so everybody can see what we're looking at here, and that's how we're looking right now. This is what we're looking at right now. With our predictions today, I was gonna go through, and you were gonna go through. Each one of us have a pick for both games here. I know usually we do, but
yeah. So you want us to each have our own picks?
Yeah, let's try that out.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes. I'm not going to be swayed. I already have it in my mind who I think is, in there, and
I already have mine set too, so be my guest. We'll let you kick us off on this new format. So
okay, all right. I will dive in. So right off the bat, let's start with that. Let's start with that Broncos. I'm sorry. Let's start with that Seahawks in Los Angeles game, because that's a division game. That's a very, very big game. Seattle's defense has been running hot, man. They have not stopped. They just took out the 49ers they took out the 49ers in crazy, crazy fashion. And they were going against kind of a weak team, but at the same point, they are the number 1 seed. Los Angeles got their defensive players back. They went through the Panthers. They went through the Bears. And the Bears was a tough one. And it looks like Seattle is kind of leaning towards that win. It looks like they can kind of easily just take out Stafford, possibly. But Stafford will be Stafford. And I'm going to stand by that. He has been a role model all year of how to play quarterback, and he has weapons. He has more than 3 tight ends. He has 2 great wide receivers, and you know what? 1.5 and 2 good running backs. I think they're going to edge this one out. Give me the Rams to go to the Super Bowl here. Then also, I'm going to take it over to the other side. The Broncos facing the Patriots. Patriots defense has looked very good. Drake May has looked excellent in the pocket, very calm, cool, collected. Okay, he's been throwing the ball great to it doesn't matter who. His wide receivers have been catching it. We've got news that Denver just beating the Bills and edging that out at home as well. They have an injury, and that stinks because Bo Nix will now no longer play here. But like you said, Sean Payton does have a plan. He will have a plan to make sure that something happens. I believe they're going to get Stidham ready to rock and roll. J.K. Dobbins is back off IR. The center for the Denver Broncos is back off IR. They're getting fully healthy here. I think they're going to bring it. They're going to give everything they got. They are at home. Give me Denver going to the Super Bowl. It will be a Los Angeles Rams and Denver Super Bowl.
This is really interesting because we didn't coordinate this at all beforehand. But we have almost, I won't say almost, we have exactly the same matchup what I was going to think as well. So let me give you my reasoning why I'm choosing the Rams over the Seahawks and Broncos over the Patriots. All right. So Rams, Seahawks, this is round 3. And I believe they split the first 2 series. And that last game, it was in Seattle. Both teams were going crazy, score for score, and it was a 1-point matchup. And Seattle had to convert 3 different 2-point conversions. On one of them was just so happened Charbonnet picked up the ball and was in the end zone. So this Rams defense has Sam Darnold's number. He struggles mildly against them. He struggled against them when he was with Minnesota. He struggled against them in both games here this year in those divisional matchups. So not only is that Seattle defense great, but Stafford and this offense, they can get rolling easily. They can get hot pretty quickly. They're more battle tested through these playoffs, having to be the road team and win in Carolina, win in Chicago, and now they're going on Seattle. They've been there. They've shown that they can do it. I know Stafford, I think he hurt his hand or his finger in the Carolina game. He came back next week. He's looked good. That Chicago defense really kind of stifled that offense. So you want to be wary of that. But I'm going to trust Stafford and McVay, who's also been here before. They've been to a couple NFC championships. They've won a ring together. And, sorry, Seattle. I mean, we didn't have much faith in you this year, and you guys have done nothing but absolutely crush it and take the number 1 seed. But this is going to probably be the matchup of the weekend, and or the Sunday, and I just think Rams. I'm going to take experience. I'm going to take the veteran quarterback, and this could be the way that Stafford's able to run off into the sunset. We'll see. But that's the reason why I'm giving it to LA. I think Seattle, I think it'll be a very close matchup. I don't think it'll be a blowout one way or the other. I think it'll be very close, but I do hedge LA in that type of matchup. And on the flip side, Mike Vrabel, one of the best coaches in the league, if not the best coach, a very high candidate for coach of the year. He's got Drake May. That offense has been humming. They've been doing great. Their defense has just been throwing out some crazy stuff and has been awesome throughout these playoffs. They had a good matchup last weekend. They got the Texans to turn the ball over so many different times, yet it was only, a 12-point game? 12-point game. So that kind of worries me a little bit. And I think in this kind of matchup, Denver is going to want to keep the score close and the clock running, right? So I just really believe that the Broncos, their defense has been great. I think they can give Drake May some trouble. May likes to use his legs a lot. He's got a lot of weapons, but I think Denver's defense, I think they can actually truly clamp down and withstand this Patriots offense. And the Broncos offense, Sean Payton has adjusted his offense. He's grown. He's expanded it. They do a lot of easy screens, dump offs, things that Bo Nix is comfortable with. So now they just have to mirror it to match Jared Stidham. And I think Peyton will easily be able to do that, getting them all involved and get the offense rolling. I think he's going to have a plan. I think he's going to be able to execute.
Yeah, and not for nothing, that's Seattle too. I forgot to mention is that there's no Charbonnet. I'm not saying that Kenneth Walker isn't good. He is good. But the whole thing is having both of them together is that 1-2 punch is absolutely nasty. But if you can stack the box on Kenneth Walker, you've said it from the beginning, the Rams defense is a very, very good defense. Okay. If they can concentrate on that, and they already have, I don't want to say already have, but if they have Sam Darnold's number, that could be a different changer. Now it's a divisional game. This can go back and forth, and we understand that because, these division games, especially with them, have come down to very, very close numbers. On the other hand, losing one guy like that can make a difference in it's already a close game. If you don't have a guy like that is very dynamic, that can cut from one side to the other like butter, that can really change the outcome of 2 to 3 yards per play that he's supposed to be in. I'm just throwing it out there, but you need all the advantage you can get.
Yeah, and with Darnold too, you don't know which Darnold you're going to get. He's played great these past 2 seasons, but he's also inclined to make some dumb decisions. And he had that oblique injury last year. Obviously, he played, but I think he didn't have to do much. They won 41-6. Yeah. I think he threw the ball 17 times, right? Yeah. So if he's going to have to air it out, how much of that oblique injury is going to rear its head? And if you get some pressure on Darnold, he's viable to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Right. I'd much rather force Darnold's hand and try to get him into a mistake than, just letting Kenneth Walker run all over us. Right. So,
yeah. So, I mean, that's what we got. We got the LA Rams and the Denver Broncos going in there. Look, we've been wrong plenty of times, but at the same point, it can go either way. We know this, and people like to say, "Oh, you were wrong." Yeah, we're wrong with some of the best teams. So that's just part of the game. We take our L's on the chin, but we also take our W's being gracious. So, but with that said, if you guys have not, please follow us, Top Dog Coverage, YouTube, X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Swipe up on Spotify and Apple. Make sure that you guys follow us. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We could use your help. But until our next episode, which we will have very soon, and we hope that you guys enjoy all the games this weekend. It's Dirty. It's C-Dub. We are signing out for tonight. Make your picks. Have some fun. Eat some good food. We're out. Peace.